Hello and welcome to Truth Be Known. Well, we are talking today about diets. Now, let's think back to January the 1st. We have made a New Year's resolution. You know, people always do this. And what is on their New Year's resolution? I want to lose some weight. So they write that in there. And next thing you know, it is February. And how much weight have you lost? I wonder why. I don't know. That's why we're talking about diets today. And the other reason is because I'm very, very familiar with dieting. Because it seems like it's been a whole life of dieting. I remember when I was young, even probably at the youngest age that I do remember, gosh, I just remember my mom was always on a diet. And so I always had that mindset of being on a diet or making sure that I'm thin and blah, 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 which I was not thin most of my life. I mean, there were different points in my life that I was, but mostly I was bigger than the girls that I went to school with, or at least I thought I was. And so my mindset was, I've got to lose weight and I've got to look this way or whatever. And I'm never going to look like anybody else. I promise you, my body is not shaped or formed like any other woman's. And so I am embracing my body, which I am not very excited about the weight that I am, but I am moving in the right direction. Now I'm going to add a disclaimer on this podcast because there are some things to this I have not tried, and so mostly that will just be my opinion on these different things. But the ones that I have tried and do work, I'm putting a disclaimer on those also because of the end result. And so just be cautious. Don't say, oh, this is going to work, and run out and buy certain foods or whatever it is. We're just going to be talking about diets and about the foods and different things that come with this. Okay, so there's your disclaimer and take it as it is. So our first diet, we're going to talk about Optavia. I was on this diet for probably a year and a half, and I'm telling you, I love this diet. They give you, it's called 5-in-1, and you have 5 snacks throughout the day, and then you have one good meal at the end of the day. And there's other plans that you can go on, 2 and 4. I really don't remember the other plans because I didn't go on those. This diet was very expensive. That was the downfall of this diet. But I loved eating the snacks every 2 to 3 hours because it kept me feeling full. And the snacks that they give you, well, they actually purchase the first box for you in the beginning, and then you can decide which boxes and which foods you want to try. And so I just basically went through all the foods and ended up loving the chocolate chip cookies and the brownies, of course, all the sweets. And there was some other good items that I liked to eat also. And they even had snacks if you wanted snacks. And I mean, it just worked for me. And I lost a lot of weight on this diet, and I was so happy. And then guess what happens? Once you go off the diet, yes, it comes back. Why? Because you don't eat like that anymore. Now, one thing about this diet, people are always saying, how many macros does it have in it? Carbs? Because they always kept saying it's the carbs. But if they looked on the back of the packages, it had nothing to do with carbs because this food was loaded in carbs. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be truthful with you actually about this food. Even though I loved it, it was loaded with preservatives. There was cancer-causing stuff in this food, and as I am healed from cancer, I have done so much research on the foods that we eat, and I ate this for a year and a half, and I would not go back and eat that again, ever. Now, what it did do, it actually counted calories. When you're getting 1,000 calories in a day, that is not very many calories. And it's funny because the longer you are on this diet and they send you the foods, it's like, wait, where's my bar? This used to be a big old bar and now it's just a little bar. Well, because you can't just continue on this 1,000 calorie diet. It's going to have to be modified in order for you to continue to lose weight. Well, I don't know how they did it, but it worked for me. But that's mainly what this diet was. It was below 1,000 calories a day. And people thought it was about the carbs, and it's not. And I tell you, if you eat 1,000 calories or lower a day, you will lose weight. But the bad parts is your hair will fall out and your skin will do weird things, and your body just does weird things because it wants to hold on to that weight. So I'm not saying that this is the best diet. It sure was the best diet for me. However, I would not go back on it. It was very expensive. But it did teach me a lot of things. And I mean, I would love to go back on it. And I guess I can just by counting my own calories and trying to do it that way. But I want to be healthy. I've looked back on my pictures where I was thin. And then I looked back on my pictures. I mean, with this diet, you don't even have to work out. In fact, they don't want you to work out because why? You're using up all your energy. And if you work out, then it's not going to work right. I don't know. It's just weird. So when I was working out and I was eating a different kind of diet, which was lean meats and fruits and vegetables, then I wasn't as thin and I didn't lose as much weight as I did on this Optavia diet, but I looked just as thin because I was healthy and I was exercising and I was doing what I needed to do and I ate the things I needed to eat. Oh, so that's what I need to be doing, right? So there's that Optavia diet. But I say it does work. But all the preservatives and stuff that you're eating in that stuff. Anyways, Weight Watchers. I didn't really go on Weight Watchers. I did a couple of times, but my mom went on it. She was very successful in losing weight. And I think that they pretty much give you foods that are good for you. I'm sure you can eat the bad foods, but I'll tell you what, these days they put so much preservatives and junk in foods. You really have to do your homework on this because, oh, wow. The carnivore diet, that consists of meat and butter and eggs and bacon and all that yummy fatty food. And I had gone on the carnivore diet, which I haven't lost weight on these diets, this one. But this carnivore diet, it almost felt like it did the opposite to me because when you have low carb foods or no carb foods, then that calorie count is so high. And so people are like, you have to have a deficit of calories in order to lose weight. Well, I wasn't having a deficit of calories because that's all I would eat is a ton of calories. This had no carbs. Now, there are different types of carnivore diets where they had some carbs and others just didn't have any carbs. I just wasn't successful on this. I've had people, my friends, my family have been successful on this. I love butter, eggs, and meat, but I got tired of it. I did. I got tired of eating the same things all the time, and I don't know. So there's that. There's also the low carb diet, which I feel like I need to be on right now because I just feel like that's what God told me to be on because of the cancer I was healed from. When you take PET scans and the scans that they want you to take, they tell you not to eat carbs. I don't know why, but I thought, God told me not to do it, and they don't want you doing it before these scans, so that must mean there must be some significant information right there. So, a low carb diet. Since I have been on the carnivore diet recently, it's kind of hard to go back to the low carb diet because you can eat more foods, but it's the things that's in the foods. Now, on the carb diet, I have found so many products I can eat, like the cottage cheese. In the cottage cheese ingredients, I have found one that does not have cancer-causing stuff. But the sad thing is the one I found is gross. So I have to add other stuff to it to make it taste good. So I'm actually in this mind kick thing of I want to do low carb, but I don't want to have preservatives and all of that junk in there either. But that really limits your eating. But low carb diets does work. I've been on those and they do work. It took a long time for me to get a little weight off, but boy, when you start eating those carbs again, that weight just packs right back on because they're like, keto diets. I don't really understand what the difference between a keto diet and a low carb diet is. One diet, they want you to check out your macros or something, and I don't even know what that is, and that just confuses me. So, anyways. The biggest thing these days, though, is the GLP diet, the shots, or whatever they're doing to give you this. They're giving it to people for weight loss, although it's for diabetes. Now, we're going to just go over this because I don't really know about this other than the research I've done on this. But I am going to tell you right now my opinion. Because they are pushing this so much on so many people that are overweight, I feel like it's almost like the jab, which what I mean by that is when we had COVID and people wanted you to get the COVID shots, you don't hear about that anymore, do you? No, you don't much, but you do hear about this medication that's for diabetes, and they want you to take this. And a lot of people I know are on this medication. But we're going to talk about this for a minute. One of the things which is interesting, though, is with some of these diet plans that they're doing, like I'm not sure if it's Optavia, but I think that it is, and I think there's another place that is trying to, actually there's one place in our town that is going to close down because they can't stay open because of this drug that they're giving all these people. People can't afford to do the drug and do the diet also. Now, I want you to be cautious of this. If you are on any of these drugs for diabetes, you don't need a diet plan that costs lots of money because that drug is going to make you lose the weight. However, if you need the diet plan to help you keep the weight off later, that's an excellent idea. I'm just saying, don't throw out all your money and thinking it's the diet that's helping you lose weight when it's this medication that they're giving you to help you lose weight. Because you will lose weight, I think, on these medications. But let's talk about them for a minute. These medications are used to treat type 2 diabetes. And so here's my thinking. If you are getting this medication, it treats type 2 diabetes. Well, that's great. But what happens when you stop taking this medication? When you don't even have diabetes in the first place, but you're taking this medicine. What is it doing to your body after you stop taking the medicine? Or maybe you can't stop taking the medicine. Well, you have to continue for the rest of your life because it's making your body do whatever it is. And then if you continue to lose weight, then what's going to happen? So there's some questions for you. Here's some benefits of, they have those drugs. They're called Ozempic and Mounjaro. These are about the same, and there's other drugs out there too. I just didn't research all of them. But here's some of the good things: is that controls your blood sugar, and you have a significant weight loss. It lowers your risk of heart disease and a stroke. You have improved cardiovascular health, and it slows the decline of kidney disease and improves cardiovascular outcomes in patients with chronic kidney disease and type 2 diabetes. Now, it doesn't say it's going to help those who don't have diabetes, but there's that. Now, the serious side effects for these: you can have inflammation of the pancreas, you have vision changes, you have low blood sugar levels, kidney problems, and serious allergic reaction. It can also increase the risk of food or liquid getting into your lungs during surgery or a medical procedure. Yikes, that don't sound very good. When stopping taking this medicine, what happens? Well, usually the weight returns because you've not learned how to eat correctly. You're just taking this medicine to lose the weight. And so if you stop anything, I'm not just saying this medicine, if you stop any type of diet ever and begin to eat the way you used to eat, you will gain the weight. And it will come back faster than you lost the weight. Believe me, I know this. Here's what it says if you stop taking the medication. Your blood sugar will likely return to abnormal high levels. Now, if you don't have type 2 diabetes to begin with, and it's probably messed up your body, then what's going to happen? I don't know. It says uncontrolled high blood sugar can lead to serious health consequences over the long term. Heart disease, stroke, kidney disease, vision problems, nerve damage, and gum disease. So as before, when we talked about the carb issue, also on these PET scans, when you go for them, they say if you're taking any medication, Ozempic or whatever, I don't really know all the names of this medication, but if you're taking any of this medication for weight loss, that's for diabetes, that you need to stop this within a certain amount of time before this test. And to me, that makes me think, what in the world is it that you're putting in your body, just like carbs, to show up in a PET scan where they can think, oh, that's cancer or whatever? To me, that just makes me think, can that cause cancer? That's why I've limited carbs and just, do your homework on this stuff. We can't just do it because, do your homework. If you are taking something inside your body, and it may be great now, what do they say? It may be flowers and sunshine. I don't know what it is, but later down the road, just be cautious. I say that a lot, but be cautious. On this diet issue, well, apparently overeating or undereating, because, you can have issues with undereating. There's a lot of people that think they're fat and they're just not going to eat. There's a lot of people that have bulimia or anorexia because if they eat a bunch or they binge, they don't eat and then they binge and then they throw it up. Those things you need to seek medical help for those things, because I feel like everything has a root issue to it. And that might be easy to think, well, I can just get rid of the root issue, but those things you're going to have to dig up. And I feel like medicine these days, they just put a patch over that, just like this weight loss thing. Here, I'll just give you the shot, you're going to lose weight, but then what happens at the end? When you have to stop taking this because you're losing so much weight, what's going to happen to your body? What is in that medication that they're putting in there? What is in there? Did you look it up? Do you know? Because one of these medicines that I had taken for cancer it's crazy. It had the shell of the pill had substance in it that causes cancer. It's in everything, people. And, thank goodness they're getting rid of the number 4 dyes. But, there's so much more than just that. There's red dyes, there's blue dyes, there's green dyes, yellow dyes. There's all these dyes that can hurt your body. But not only that, there's also these other substances that they're putting in stuff that can cause cancer. Now, I'm going to take what I have been eating for cottage cheese. And it's just nasty. I'm telling you, it is gross. But my husband has the best cottage cheese in the world. But it's got stuff that causes cancer in it. So I'm just not going to eat that kind of stuff. I'm pretty limited on what I'm eating, so maybe that's what the problem is. But it's odd that the stuff that tastes so good is what has the bad stuff in it. And I guess that's true. I mean, you take Twinkies and Ding Dongs and then you take eggs and bacon, and what's going to taste better? Well, all right then. I do like bacon and eggs, though. They're pretty good. But as far as diets, every diet is different and every person is different. And you just have to find your different. I was on a diet called the Fat Smash diet. I've been on so many diets, I couldn't even name them all probably. But the Fat Smash diet, I love this diet. And it's probably really good for me, except I probably wasn't getting enough fats, because here you go again, no fats or low fats, but they put in tons of carbs. It's just like you need to equal out things. But it's every diet that I've seen is an extreme. They're low carbs, or they're high carbs, or they're low calories or high calories, or they're no fat or they're high fat. You know, you just have to know what your body is the best at into losing weight. But just make sure that when you decide to go on a diet, to look at the evens and the odds and the side effects, because I'm just telling you about some of the side effects that these diets do have. And well, one of the big ones is you lose weight, which is awesome. But one of the bad ones is you gain weight once you come off of it, or once you have a binging eating day. Do what you feel like you need to do that's good for your body. Regular exercise, get out and walk. That's an excellent form of exercise. Let's get off the diet thinking. Let's just start thinking healthy. Because I've noticed when I tell myself I'm on a diet, that makes me want to eat a lot of food. And with me, I can't just cheat one little time. People, I had some friends say, just cheat a meal. Oh, well, that's a good idea. But I don't. If I cheat the whole day and mess up the whole day. And then I'll start all over the next day. And every Monday I start all over. So I got to eat everything in the house. It's just really ridiculous. And it's just a way of thinking, I think. But it needs to be fixed. I think in order to fix any issue, whether it's dieting or other things that you have not done or wanted to do and you just can't seem to do it, I think there's a underlying issue that needs to be plucked up. I just thank you for joining us today, and I don't know if this helped you one little bit, but I hope you are successful in your dieting, in your healthy eating. And just remember, this is the place that you're going to get the truth, because this is Truth Be Known.